millions of dollars of incremental revenue off of one piece of social content. And I see Jenna Marbles. And I'm like, yo, do you want to get a shot right now?
Okay.
44 million views. 24 hours, bro.
What?
The first influencer I ever worked with was Logan Paul. No one's saying, yo, Mike's that kid that does dumb shit for social anymore. Crazy, bro.
Mike is pretty much, from what I've seen, pioneered influencer marketing, especially in love sacks. And, I mean, that's been seen by his higher ups, and he's gotten these promotions, and he's just killing the game. He's worked with huge influencers across all social platforms, YouTube, Instagram, the likes. So he's definitely going to probably name drop a few people, and I'm excited to hear his process and how he comes up with his different campaigns and just his lifestyle. So, Mike, you want to give a little bit of intro yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm Mike Majlak. You nailed it. You got it right. And a lot of people have butchered that name over the years, so that was good. Marketing manager at Lovesac, social media, partnerships, influencer, just basically anything like social media, digital media, from a bustling entertainment town called Milford, Connecticut. From Milford, Connecticut.
The Hollywood of the Midwest.
It really is of the East, the East Coast. Yeah. There's nothing going on there at all, dude. It's such a it's like a little beach community. It's outside New Haven, so like.
I mean, that's probably what inspired you to dream big, though, too. Being in that small town vibe, you know.
You know, like I don't want to get too like deep right in the beginning, but like I just tried things. You know, like even there, like you could try stuff anywhere. Like there's nowhere in the world that's the exact right recipe for like doing this or doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever you are, you can start doing stuff, especially nowadays in like the age of digital media. It was my starting place basically, you know, and that was it.
Mike, man, we're talking about your childhood, your early days. What inspired you, maybe in marketing, maybe creatively, growing up? I mean, you had to have some inspiration that you've thought of while you've taken this route of a career path.
Yeah, I mean,
so who are the people you've looked up to? Who's inspired you when you were growing up?
For me, I was an action sports kid. You know what I'm saying? And so like I watched. For me, it was like Matt Hoffman, the BMX, like king of BMX, Rodney Mullen in skateboarding, and like Pastrana. Like I watched the X Games. I went to Woodward. Like I rode bikes with Dave Mira and R.I.P. Dave Mira. I mean, like I was into action sports like heavy, bro. Like that was my jam. And so like all those dudes like inspired me. Like I wanted to be them. Like that was my like athlete. Like that I wanted to be like. And then also like I listened to like Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? I listened to a lot of Jay-Z and a lot of like 50 and shit. And in the action sports and music. And it's funny because like in the last 2 to 3 years, I've worked with all of them. Like literally like straight up worked with all of those people. I worked with Jay. Worked with Pastrana on that piece with Logan and Atwood. Worked with Matt Hoffman like 2 weeks ago. It's just weird, bro.
I mean, looking up to someone and then, I mean, you met them, right?
Yeah, all of them, yeah.
Yeah, and then
it's
meeting
weird.
them, it's crazy because it's kind of like taking down a curtain. For example, I looked up to Ryan Seacrest for a long time.
Yeah, obviously.
And then finally meeting him while working at KISS is just like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
like, what the hell?
Comes full circle.
This is possible? And then you're like, what else is possible, right?
Everything.
It just fires you up.
Everything is
malleable,
bro.
after that, right?
Dude, it's weird. I'm going to get into like some, like I have a funny story.
Oh, let's go.
You want to just jump? Oh, actually, wait. I do want to shout out one more person on the inspiration front. Those guys were all big. They're huge. But also my dad. And so, like I said, my parents got divorced when I was like 15. In the years like leading up into that, my dad was a global marketing manager. And so he traveled all the time. And like, I was always like really just like intrigued. These guys like talking about like how to drive businesses and like build brands. He would just travel all the time. And like it just seemed like such important business to me. And like when I was like 12 years old, like he was teaching me like the principles of marketing. You know what I'm saying? And like also like how to act at a business dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like I was 12 years old. He's like, when you get up, put your napkin on the seat, like have it on your lap when you sit back down, but like all that stuff. On one side, I was like turned on by like the content like that Jay produced and like all those guys produced and like watching it and like being like, yo, it's entertaining. On the other side, like I had the business from my dad.
Yeah.
And now like I live in a world where literally I have both and I'm stuck in between like content, like, and I make content literally and also pay to have content made to drive the brand. And so I understand both sides of the coin so much that it's like, it's weird how full circle it's come from like my childhood.
And it's crazy thinking about all those people and role models you've looked up to and how you can take a piece from each. Yeah. But then it becomes you.
It's weird. And Adam Sandler. And I look like Adam Sandler kind of. People, I get it a lot.
You do? Dude,
Yeah, a little bit, dude. I know. I kind of do.
You took off your hat?
I know. Damn. I'm not gonna do that. But but Happy Gilmore, dude.
Yeah.
Like, bro, and so that's where I get a lot of my goofiness from. Like, I'm not a reserved person at all. Like, I start joking with people as soon as I meet them. And it breaks the ice, and that's what I like.
I mean, that's what we need, man. There's not enough people like that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, man, I love it. I love the inspiration. That's awesome. And with Lovesac, I mean, you killed the game. They reported that they had like a top line of 78 million in 2016, and I've seen that you've been a big part of that, especially too, with these influencer campaigns and the likes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so 2016, huge year for us. 2017, actually, we did just over 100 million, and so we continue to kind of grow. And I don't know if everybody in the audience knows who Lovesac is, but obviously we make really oversized beanbag chairs, and also Sactionals, which kind of is our flagship product.
Sactionals?
Sactionals, yeah.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, dude, you got to check them out.
Yeah, definitely, man.
That's kind of our flagship now, and it's a modular couch system made up of just 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Move them around, change them around, and you could build like these crazy like setups. I'll show you some like celebrities that have like massive setups.
Definitely.
I started there in 2014, and I mean at that time we were a small company. I think we were like going to do like 36 million that year. So like small, quote unquote small. Right?
It's funny that they were, quote unquote small then, because I remember in high school, kind of around 2013, I think, maybe a little bit before that. I remember going to the mall and seeing Lovesac out, but must have been a lot smaller even then too.
Our founder, Sean Nelson, he started Lovesac Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
1990. God, in like the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So Lovesac's been around for a long time. It wasn't until like the past, like really like the past few years that you've started to see this like really solid growth trajectory for a number of reasons, right? And it's been, opening the right stores, it's been working with the right influencers, it's
definitely
been, taking part in the right media. But 2014 when I started, me and Sean, the founder, joke about this all the time. Like we were in a closet, a tool closet. Like at this tiny little office in Stamford, Connecticut. There was like 40 people like crammed into this like tiny place.
That's crazy.
And it was
even in Connecticut, I feel like the real estate might be a little bit cheaper out there.
It is, but still, dude, like it was still
bootstrapping it.
It's bootstrapping it, bro. And so it was like me and him in this like tool closet. It's sitting there, there's no windows, and it was like the only place that I had to sit. Like I didn't have a desk or anything. At the time, like I was like not even like I hadn't even like taken over like the social media at the time. Like I was just like advising on some of the social, right? Yeah, 2014, right? And so at the time, like when I finally took over Lovesac Social, we had 1,700 followers on Instagram. Like I know mom and pops like dental places that have more.
Was this still in 2014 when you took over?
Probably like 2014, 2015, right? Okay. And so we had like 1,700 on Instagram and then maybe like 30,000 on Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of since then, I took over all of the social media. And when I say like taken over, like let me explain to you kind of how it works there. Most, as you probably know, like most big brands or at most brands in general, you have a creative team, right? And a marketing team that kind of work together to build the content out for the channels, right?
Yeah.
I don't utilize the creative team for our social media. Like I source content and write all the copy for our social myself. Like a lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah. So like all the copy, all the content that you see on Lovesac Social has been me since 2014. And so it's been like
that's a heavy job.
It is.
It's like a one-man team.
It is.
Well, I mean, shout out to the content creation team with Lovesac, but I mean, you're trying to create a whole new wave, which is probably why you're doing so much yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is like social is like a really kind of like niche like channel, right? And like I think like you kind of have the sauce or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Like I think, you're either good at it or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like I think I kind of knew early on like 2012 like right when social was really starting to like power up, right? And it was like everybody was on Facebook and like Instagram was just coming around. Like I kind of knew that I had like the sauce for it, right? And so
I like that.
Yeah.
But you didn't get lost in the sauce.
No,
that's a good thing.
Not really. I mean, there have been times where I've been pretty close, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, long story short, like since then, it's been managing social, managing the content, also now a really robust paid strategy. Obviously, as we get bigger and bigger, we have a ton of paid media. And then, kind of the thing that I'm sure we'll talk about most today, which is like our influencer program.
Okay. Yeah. But what was this? I assume that you had this light bulb moment where you're like, oh shit, like I can really do this. Because I think we all go through this point at either our job or our career pursuit where we're so unsure of ourselves until we get this affirmation, right? So what was that for you?
I have one that like strikes me immediately. So we we operate, and we historically have operated a little bit differently at Lovesac because we're such a bootstrap company. When I took over the social channels, like I didn't have like a creative team backing me. Like it wasn't like I had daily conversations with this creative team and they were like feeding me content. It was like, all right, you own the social channels, get to work. You know what I'm saying? And like when I took over Lovesac Social, like it wasn't like I had this creative team that I could like pump daily content to me. Basically, they were just like, yo, like you own the channels now, like get to work. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll check in on you, we'll see how it's going. But like
right before you got the position, I'm sure you were still kind of like felt a little bit uneasy about yourself.
I felt really uneasy, bro. I was taking over, like, even though it was at the time, like for me, like a $40 million annual brand, like that was a big deal for me. Like I hadn't had an account like that before. And then I went full time and I was like, I'm the voice of this brand, bro. I'm like the first line of offense, if you will, for this brand. And so it's like I already had like a really strong background in writing and also in just like understanding like social and content and all this stuff. Like I had developed it from just studying it, like living in that area. And so I was doing these like trial partnerships. But I remember like even in like these early days, no one really gave me like a ton of respect. Like they didn't disrespect me, but they were like, oh, like social media is like cool, whatever. Like it's like kind of cool. Like I don't even know that we really need to do it, whatever.
Little did they know they were like, we're playing with the giant.
Bro, you know, still really early on, I end up doing this like this partnership with Inside. And so like it's like a Business Insider, like Insider, right? And so I was still really green and like didn't like know what I was doing 100%. I was learning like corporate and everybody was kind of like, oh, Mike's like out there just having a good time, like doing social, whatever, right? And so I
chilling in Mykonos. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever, yeah, right? No, at the time I wasn't doing shit, dude. I was in Connecticut all the time.
Yeah.
And so I made this piece of content with Insider and it was just like a short video, but like I gave him direction on how it should be shot, like all this stuff. I like helped him through some of the messaging, ran like a brand campaign, like a little brand video with Insider. And they had, 6.5 million on Facebook, whatever. You know, it's cool. It was like my first time. I made this video with Insider. They were like, oh, we're going live today with the piece that we made. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Like publishing it?
Yeah, they're going to publish it to their Facebook. I'm like, all right, cool. Like maybe it'll be cool. Maybe it won't. Next day, I get a call from IT on my cell phone. Yo, the site's crashed. The site's crashed, bro. We can't do business online right now. What did you do? And it was like early in the morning and I'm like, yo, what just happened?
How old were you when this happened?
It was like 2000. I was, I don't know, 5 years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago. 44 million views, 24 hours, bro.
What the hell? 44 million?
44 million. Wikipedia.
What was this on?
It was just it was a video on Lovesacks.
On Facebook?
They're on Facebook, and we did it the right way based on like stuff that I'd learned and like what I knew about the content, blah, blah. I led them through this campaign of how to do it right, the program. There's a call coming in now from Wikipedia. Yo, you guys now have the most viewed brand video in the first 24 hours in the history of the internet.
Wow.
Bong. Yo, man, I think like, okay, like we might have something here. Give it a few more months.
Yeah.
210 million views, bro, on Facebook, okay?
Yeah.
Millions of dollars of incremental revenue off of one piece of social content. No one's saying, yo, Mike's that kid that does dumb shit for social anymore. Like, could have made the year based on that video.
All from one video.
All from one video, dude. One partnership.
Was there paid promotion involved to get the video out there at all?
No, not really. And we shared it
all
on
organic, really.
It was just wild, bro. I've never seen anything take off like that in my life.
And then from there, you're like, boing, light bulb.
Dude. And they're like, yo,
you're like, shit, I'm okay,
bro. And they're like, yo, we want to like give you a budget next year. Like you're gonna have a budget now to control. You know what I'm saying? Like we can go spend some money. And so that's when things
your confidence in the company skyrocket after that.
For sure.
What were the elements that you learned that worked in this campaign?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like,
one thing that I find interesting is maybe those elements worked then, but they might not work now, which is the craziest thing.
These ones still do.
Change.
These ones have been timeless, but I get your point.
Let us know. Then.
It was just really knowing how to show the product. Like this is like, ABCs in the brand world, like how to show the product, positioning, like all of that stuff, like how to shoot it, how to talk about it, how like the tempo of the video should it be like upbeat, whatever. And like gave those learnings to Insider. They produced this piece and it took off. So it was just another example of like really knowing your craft, studying it. And then creating a relationship with the people that were going to build this content and offering them the stuff they needed to build the content for you. That's like it's a big part of relationships and partnerships nowadays, especially with all these influencer stuff where you might be working with someone that doesn't know your brand. They've never heard of you. You've never heard of them even a lot of times. Creating a relationship, telling them how to position it, how to light it, how to do all these things, and really creating a good working relationship.
If anyone wants to look up this video, what do they Google? Just Lovesac and Insider, maybe?
Lovesac Insider. You should be able to find it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's on the Insider page on Facebook.
That's a crazy story, man. And I bet, I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, especially just being in a company and kind of being looked at as like the newbie or whatever, I mean, you probably walk around with some clout after that.
For a little bit, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really cool, and it was awesome.
People looked at you differently too.
I think so. After that video, bro, like especially IT, they weren't happy, dude. Like they were like, bro, like they had to like upgrade.
Why
their
would they
service
not be happy?
Because they're crashing the site, bro.
Well, because they don't want to work. Huh?
Yeah. I love our IT team, by the way.
Shout out to the IT team.
Yeah, Lovesac IT is awesome. No, but it was a career. It's one of my proudest moments, dude.
You know, the thing that really caught my eye is that your socials aren't too crazy yet. Seeing the relationships you've built, whether like with your collaborations through Lovesac or not, it just seems like you're able to create these personal friendships in a way out of these deals or the likes. And I was just interested in, you know, what goes into you creating these campaigns that you come across, especially when you're thinking about launching a new product with Lovesacs and maybe partnering with an influencer.
It's such a long story. Like over the years, like we've literally worked with so many people. The first influencer I ever worked with was Logan Paul. And he was literally like one of the first like real influencers that I worked with.
That's wild.
And it was
how big was he when you first?
Small, dude. Small. Yeah. Like it was like 2015, and he was on. Or it was like it might have even been 2014, and he was only on Vine and Twitter at the time, right? And maybe like had a small. Facebook channel.
he was pretty big on Vine.
He was huge on Vine
too, right?
I mean, he was the Vine. He was basically the king doing splits and stuff.
When we think, because not everyone thinks of Vine because it vanished, right?
Yeah.
But you're probably kind of saying he was smaller because across his other platforms, he wasn't that big, right?
He was still huge. Like he was a huge internet star, but he wasn't like the king of YouTube yet. Like he wasn't what he is today, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of started working with him, and the relationships that have grown out of my, you know, working at Lovesac have been kind of a twofold. One, because we have a really fucking awesome product. Like we have an awesome product that everybody wants, right?
Definitely. I mean, I've jumped on one before. They're sick.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like that's the start of it. But like in terms of like the longevity of the partnerships, like the basis of that is kind of on the person who is working the partnerships, right? And like how are you building those relationships? How are you kind of like cultivating those relationships and like making them like as good as they can be? And so I started working with Logan in like 2014. We did a couple brand deals. Before you knew it, we were really good friends. We were going to Sundance. Like we have some crazy stories over the years, and you know I kind of worked a lot with him, but then continued to really, this influencer program continued to like snowball and just grow and grow and grow, and into what it is today.
You say Lovesac is coming out with a new sectional or a new product. I mean, run me through maybe one campaign that comes to mind that really stood out, like and what the process looks like for you to create maybe a new relationship with an influencer too. And I know, for example, you've been collaborating with I think Call of Duty recently, right?
Yeah. And it's funny because that's what I was going to say. That's the one I was going to use. It's so recent. So, yeah, literally like...
Congrats on that, by the way. That's super sick.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
I think we've all been playing Call of Duty for years at this point, man.
So long, dude. For so long. Like a couple years ago at Lovesac, we got together the brand team, and we're like, yo, what are the right partnerships? Like, what makes sense for this product, right? And so you think about people that play video games. They play video games for hours on end, right? And some people like to sit in chairs, but for console gamers, we're like, yo, people could sit in sacks forever because they're so comfortable, right?
Definitely.
And so we're like, we'd love to like do something with the gaming industry. And so when we talked about like who to work with, like we had people come in from like World of Tanks, like all these like weird kind of entities. Not that there's anything wrong with World of Tanks. If there's any World of Tanks players out there.
Just trying to cushion some brand deals in the future.
Yeah. But I was
like a lot of apps and random stuff.
Yeah,
right?
just like random stuff, right? Because I was like
stuff that's not in like mainstream right now.
Right. And I was always biased because I love Call of Duty. It's really the only game that I play.
Hell yeah. I mean, I would make it a goal to partner with them. Out of all the video game companies.
Yeah. And Fortnite didn't exist at this point. Like it was Fortnite. Like it wasn't as big as it was.
But hey, Fortnite, if you're listening to this, holler at Mike, holler at me.
No, I actually start playing Call of Duty, to be honest. So,
because they have the 100 battles.
It's a big battle royale.
Have you played that yet?
I have.
How is it?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not, and that's that's not me being biased. It's really good. Like the reaction's been like really strong.
Yeah.
It's really good.
How do you think that's going to go down between Fortnite and Call of Duty's Battle Royale?
I'd like to see people switch, man. It's really good. And like that's kind of biased. Yeah, I want people to switch. I want people to play Call of Duty, obviously, but so we talked and I said, if we do video games, I want it to be with like the biggest and the best, right? And I was like, how's that gonna happen?
Yeah.
We can't afford it. We're too small of a company. Like it's just not gonna happen.
How are we going to do this outreach? How are we going to create this relationship with a company that we don't even know yet, right?
That's right. Their partners are like Monster and like all these like big dogs that spend probably like $5-10 million with them, right? How are we going to do through a relationship? Because like we'll talk about it more, I'm sure, but like this is all about relationships. All of this, like business, a lot of business in general, marketing is all about relationships. The relationships you create with the customer, the relationships you create, within the brand. Like it's just relationship building. A lot of it is like the art of the sale.
Yeah.
And so I had a relationship with somebody, and I said, "Yo, like, can you get me in touch with Activision?" He put me in touch with the global head of partnerships at Activision.
For people who don't know what kind of relationship you had, I mean, was this someone that just casually knew someone that worked at Activision, or run us through it step by step?
Yeah.
Because
so the dude, I'll even drop names. Like I don't really care. The dude's name, this dude Greg Barrett.
Yeah.
He's here in LA. He's like a connector of sorts. He does a lot of like brand and influencer work. He's done a lot of good work with a lot of brands. He actually was partially responsible, or even more so responsible, for the launch of Dan Bilzerian. Like he worked a ton with Dan Bilzerian in his early days before Dan Bilzerian was the king of Instagram.
Kind of helped him blow up.
Yeah, he really did. And so I met Greg just through like. I don't even.
Wait, can I pause for a second? Isn't it kind of crazy thinking that Dan Bilzerian could exist how he is now, even without social? I mean, he's probably just doing his thing for years, and they were like, "Yeah, you should film this."
Yo, dude, like, so funny story. Not to get too off track, but I'm going to because I have to tell the story. I went to Dan's house the other day.
Okay.
So I was there. I was at Dan's. Me, Logan, and Logan's girlfriend went to his house for his party for his new cannabis company, Ignite. And
I think I might have had some buddies.
Bro,
that was like late night, right?
Bro, late night.
You take a shuttle over there and everything. Okay,
yeah, dude. And it was like rolling up to a city, dude. Like this dude's house is so like, and we've all been to cool houses before. This was not like that. This was not like this wasn't a house, bro. It had like 15 garages, dude. Like the whole ceiling of the house is glass, like you can see through it.
It's like a compound.
Crazy, like
imagine trying to clean that bitch.
Crazy, bro. and so like we roll up and it's me, LP, and his girl, and they're like, "Yo, no more. We're not letting any more dudes in." And I was like, "It's exactly
you and Logan Paul?"
Yeah, no. So they hadn't seen us yet, and they're like, "If you're a dude, get out of line right now. Go back down. You're not coming into the party." And then obviously they see LP, and they're like, "All right, you got like walk us straight up, like walk us in,
that
whatever."
Clout.
Yeah, dude, clout was strong with that one. So we go in, and within minutes we see Dan, and he's like, yo, come downstairs to Logan. Obviously he doesn't know who the fuck I am, right? So he's like, come downstairs. So within minutes it's me, Dan, Hannah Stocking, Marshmello.
Oh, I just ran into him 2 days ago.
Marshmello, Chris Brown, and Lil Dicky together. And I live weird because I'm like, yo, which one's which? Literally. And so
that video,
yo,
right?
Crazy. And Tyga, bro. And so we're all just like there. I don't even know where the story's going. There's no real end to it. But anyways, like the house is crazy. Like everything was just nuts. It was just crazy night. Back to Greg Barrett.
Whoa. Any notable experiences from that night at all?
Not like a lot that I care to talk about right now, to be honest with you, dude. There's a ton of stuff going on. Yeah, but it was a good time. I mean, Marshmello
was
DJ,
it everything
Tyga,
you would imagine going to Dan's house would be like?
100%. It was that and more. Just, he was a great host. He had a really awesome house, and it was a crazy party. There's a lot of shit going down, dude.
Crazy, yeah.
But back to Greg Barrett. So I knew Greg had these connections, and I think I might have put it on my Insta, like saying, "Yo, I'm looking for a connection at Activision or whatever." And he like reached out to me. He's like, "Yo, do you want me to make that happen?" Before you knew it, I had like an email, like
an
DM
email on Instagram or something,
or
originally?
whatever.
Yeah.
Rick might have texted me, and I had this email connection with this dude Andrew, who's like the head of global partnerships at Activision. I was like, it's like that quick, and then from there on, it was negotiations, and it was how are we gonna get these guys to do it within our budget. And then over the next few months after that, we designed this limited edition like Call of Duty cover that's like reversible. It's got black fur on one side, digital camo on the other, a backpack. It comes with Call of Duty points. We're working with like JaVale McGee from the Lakers and De'Aaron Fox from the Kings and FaZe Clan, like to promote it, creating all this awesome content. And so for me, like I've partnered with some brands in the past. Like I've done like little things with like YSL, with like Tinder, like weird like one-off partnerships.
Casual YSL, that's cool.
YSL, Jeezy, and Halsey at Coachella last year was awesome. Nice. But nothing like this. Yeah. Like this is like the shining like partnership so far.
I mean, and the thing that I think is really cool is, you know, LA is famous for having people that are really surface level, really shallow, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I was checking out your vlogs, and it seems like you're good enough friends with a lot of these people to like throw them into your videos and FaceTime with them and all that stuff. And I was like, shit. I mean, that's kind of something to talk about because a lot of people, you know, maybe they, you know, for example, especially with marketing, maybe you deal with these people, but you don't really cross that friendship boundary. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's awesome to see that you've been able to traverse that.
And that's it's an authenticity thing. You know what I'm saying? And like there are a lot of surface level people here. Like
but this is probably only a select few out of the sea of people you've worked with too. I mean, there's a lot of people that have straight business too.
100%. I do. Yeah. I did 400 influencer partnerships in 2018 already. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't maintain contact with all of them. Some of them, you know. Yeah. But like me and LP, you know, more than any of the other ones he's basically my best friend, like quite literally. Like, and he would say the same thing about me. And so now it's just a really weird ecosystem of like Lovesac, Maverick, LP, like now he's boxing. And it's like, it's been a really, it's been a challenge for me to try to figure out like what I'm really doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just doing all of it.
Like what your purpose is?
Kind of. Yeah, you know, kind of. Like, what am I, like, what, like, or better yet, like, what the right next step is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what do I want to be doing? You know what I'm saying? Because, by the way, like, I can do any of it. I do, like, I start, like you said, you were watching my YouTube and my vlogs, right? And I stopped doing those.
I saw that. Yeah, it's been, like, what, 7 months or something like that?
6-7 months now because I felt myself making stuff that other people were making. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I didn't see a purpose.
We almost fell into that with travel stuff for a while.
And you just see it and you're like, yo, this isn't me. You're like, this isn't me, man. And like, and the worst part was like, fucking good at it, bro. Like they were entertained. Like people were like, yo, this shit's funny, bro. Like it's good, dude. And like,
you know, and then one thing that actually, sorry, we on tangent that you keep going. I have a comment. One thing I saw in your vlogs and that's been really standing out to me is I've always been like, fuck jump cuts. Like, they're stupid. They look horrible. Dude, now when I see videos without jump cuts, I'm like, this is going on forever. Dude, stop breathing.
Forever, bro.
Oh, my God.
Forever.
So when you're editing, because I assume you edit your vlogs,
I did edit a lot of them. I ended up getting an editor at the end,
Big cheese over here.
Okay. Well, no, it wasn't. No, I through a relationship I had with someone, somebody wanted to get
someone
involved.
Was like, hey, let me edit your vlogs.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you make friends, and you're always, and it's, one hand washes the other. Like, what, you're doing something for them. By the way, I'm going to shout them on Instagram as my editor. Like, it's a trade always, bro. It's always a trade, right?
Yeah.
Jump cuts, dude. Vlogs, YouTube brought the jump cuts back, bro. Like, now you're just like, people want ba 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 ba.
I never realized that. I really dug deep into Cody Ko's stuff because he really trashes the travel influencers in a funny way, and I just got addicted after that. And man, I mean, I've really noticed it like just keeps the stimulation going in your mind too. So to where I feel like viewer retention rises too with it because you're able to sit through that whole video. You know, there's not so many pauses in it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's like vlogs and that kind of content. You're putting out if you're putting out a 20-minute video, like all 20 minutes of it have to be pretty like relevant to the viewer.
And I'm sure you've seen the publishing of other people's vlogs too. I mean, as a rule of thumb, kind of like when it comes to editing, what do you look for when you're making those jump cuts too? Just as like a little piece of advice to throw out there to the listeners.
That's like a personal feel type thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, after a certain number of episodes or of pieces of content, you know what your fans want to see. You get feedback on what they are relating to and what they like, and you just give them more of it. Like, that's the biggest thing I would say from a content standpoint. test everything, find what works, and then never leave it, dude, until it stops working. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lesson I learned at Lovesac, and that we continue to use.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing.
Straight up. We found a piece of content in like 2016 that like the way we positioned the Lovesac with like and how it was set up and like who was in it and like how it looked. 100,000 new Facebook fans overnight. The first picture, the first piece of content that looked exactly like this, the way it was shot, the way the girl was in the sack with the blanket bundled up, tucked down in the big love sack, $1,300, $1,400 love sack. We were like, yo, like we found something here. Every shoot after that looked exactly the same.
Look for those elements.
Same elements, bro. And so they bring me in to run the shoot because I produced that first piece of content through an influencer.
Yeah.
An influencer made it. And we were like, oh, this is cool. This should be good on social. Put it out there. Boom, dude. Like, it had 192 million impressions, bro.
Wow.
Mostly organic. Like, no paid, bro. Mostly organic.
Isn't it kind of interesting, too, like, how much converts to followers, too? Because that is a shitload of people.
100,000 new Facebook fans.
But then you got 100,000 likes off of that. I mean, that ratio always like kind of depresses me, but I mean, we just roll with it. It's math, baby, right? I mean, I wish those conversions were bigger, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just like I said, it's about testing. Marketing's all about testing.
Yeah.
In sales, it's ABC, always be closing.
Yeah.
Like, always be closing in sales. In marketing, it's ABT, always be testing.
Oh, okay.
Like, literally, it's just testing. And then when you find it.
I like that. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah.
Yo,
I just made it up. No, I'm just kidding.
By the way, what kind of strategy do you push when it comes to social? I mean, man, you got, what is it, 125, 150K on Instagram.
Yeah.
You got a decent following on YouTube, and you're learning from some of the biggest influencers in the game. I mean, what is some strategy that you've picked up on?
It's so funny. Like, I think like when I started hearing you ask about strategy, I started thinking on the brand side, and then I always forget that like there's these two entities because there's me and my channels as well. I mean, I guess it applies to both, right? In a way, but on the brand side, like my biggest advice for other people that work on the brand side, especially in social media, is like know what works on your channels, but also know what doesn't work. And so what I mean by that is there's a lot of brands like that are more traditional brands that try to like take their key messages that they're like trying to push out at that particular moment in time and then like last minute like tweak them for social. Like, oh, we're going to make this into a cool social post. I work from the flip side. You know what I'm saying? Like I live in social. Like that's the thing. Like I don't like just like go to work. Like I don't go to work 9 to 5, bro. Like this is my life. You know what I'm saying? And so I immerse myself in all of the conversation daily. I like listen to what people are talking about. I know about every new meme. Like when the Arthur Fist meme drops, like I know about it. Like when the, when like every little meme, like whatever your favorite, like dog in the burning building, like this is fine meme drops. Like all, like I know about that stuff right when it happens. And so it's
part of the game for you.
Bro, it is. And so what I do is...
Because if you play along with that results in impressions and conversions for you,
and
right?
Authenticity and like the feeling of, yo, these people know what's hot.
And these are real people.
Yeah.
When I see like Wendy's throw some smoke on Twitter...
so nasty.
It makes me want to have a burger at their place more.
Legendary, bro.
That mixtape? Sheesh.
Yo, so crazy. Like them from an engagement point, like Groupon is really good too. Wendy's is like top level shit, dude. Like I like fanboy over their accounts.
I think what's cool and
yeah. Sponsored by Wendy's.
Hey, Wendy's, hook it up.
Yeah, let me get a junior bacon, please. Yeah, but anyways, like on the
it takes on the barrier of it just being this entity. It makes the company be viewed more as like a personality.
That's
almost,
what you
right?
want, dude, and that's what you want. Like influencers. So here's the thing, like. Whenever you get a chance, look at the difference between engagement on an influencer account and engagement on a brand account. Crazy difference,
my God,
bro.
yeah.
So like say Logan has, for example, we'll keep going back to LP because my boy.
Dude,
Say Logan's got 16 million and he gets 1 million or 1.5 million likes per picture, which now with the new generation of influencers isn't even insane because I know there's this girl Emma Chamberlain right now. She got like 3 million followers on Instagram. She gets 2 million likes.
What?
It's or like 1.5 million likes. Like she's like 50-60% engaged. Insane.
That's
anyways,
astronomical. That's crazy.
Crazy. But either way.
By the way, I've seen. Is it on average kind of like 6%? Is where a lot of people sit, or what?
Usually as the influencer gets bigger, the engagement drops, right?
Yeah.
But where I was,
Kim actually worked at a macro influencer agency that would align deals. Yeah, so we're a little familiar with it.
Yeah. But so what I was getting to was like when you look at brands though, a brand will have 60 million followers and they'll get like 50,000 likes. Like brands aren't historically engaged like influencers are because they haven't created, unless it's a real powerful brand, that
like a Nike
bond, that bond that exists between influencer and fan. And so I've always wanted to run Lovesac like an influencer account if possible, but we haven't. There are places that we could do better in terms of like putting a face on the brand, blah, blah, whatever. But long story short, like you want to start at social. Don't start at your marketing message and then tweak it. Like, yo, how can we turn this email into a social post? No, you want to say like, what is social telling me would work on these
What's
channels?
Hot with social?
Exactly.
And what can we take
how
from that?
can I make my marketing look like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, how can I make that into my marketing? Like start with the channel because it's such a niche channel. Like your copywriter might be nasty at copywriting across catalog, across TV commercials, whatever, and then they can't write for social because it's such a niche channel, dude. Like it just takes a very specific person.
I like that. I mean, creating with what's hot and too packaged on it when it comes to branding. Okay, you look at it from the brand side, but I mean, you're a creator too. So what about when you're looking at it from the creator standpoint? Kind of the same idea, very similar.
It is similar. It's just listening to your fans. Yeah. And by the way, like there's a lot of people that aren't doing that right now. Like there's a lot of people that have like found their comfort zone and they're not listening to their fans. Their fans are saying, yo, we want you to do this. We want you to do that. Remember, they keep the lights on. Like those are the fans are the customers for influencers. Like that's how they make money. And so if you're a fan, like the one thing I can encourage any influencer to do is read your comments occasionally. Get in your comment section on your YouTube videos and read your comments. See what your fans are saying because that is your customer base. Like straight up, they're buying your merch. They're watching your videos. They're getting all your ads. Like that's your customer base. And so if your fans say, oh, we liked him better when he held the camera 2 years ago before he had a professional, I don't know, maybe think about holding the camera again. You know what I'm saying? Like think about going back to your roots or whatever. So like just listen to the people, whether it's your influencer or brand.
It's essentially listening to the market, which business have to do as well.
You have to.
And it's really interesting looking at this from a macro scale. I mean, we've looked at influencers when they get big and then their following goes stale. Have you ever seen that where they'll have this million follower count?
So much.
Where is the engagement?
Bro, I mean, then there's also like a lot of fake people out there too.
So another thing,
there's a lot of fake influencers.
I don't know how people do it, but I've heard people using bots for YouTube and crazy shit.
There's so much stuff going on. And for me, it's like I've worked in influencer for so long now, I can spot it in 5 seconds. Like, and I have to make those decisions every day because I work with so many influencers. And you think the real
decision makers and big brands know when someone's fake?
Brands don't know. A lot of brands don't know what they're doing on influencers.
Oh, really?
They don't. There's a very small group of people like me. I can name them. I can name some of them. I will. Like Connor Blakely, Kevin Gold, who used to manage Jake Paul's camp and now is working with Food God. There's a very small group of people in their like mid-20s to early 30s that just get influencer. Brands are turning to agencies, are relying on agencies.
And then the agency doesn't know.
The agency doesn't know what they're doing.
And then they're just spending a shitload of money.
Right? And so it's happening. It's legitimately happening. And there's a very select crew of people who have, by the way, not only the understanding of the influencer space, like really understand it, but also the relationships to get discounted rate cards.
Yeah.
Like if a brand reached out to me and was like, yo, we want to work with this person, I'll be like, all right, let me call. Like I'm not calling their agent. Like I'm going to hit them up and be like, yo, Nike's trying to work with you or like whoever's trying to work with you.
Yeah.
But let's get them a deal because this is a good long-term relationship to build. And they're like, all right, Mike, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, throw that 20% commission on the top.
Yeah, like or whatever, right? Yeah, exactly. But like it's a small crew, but like brands are still struggling a lot with this whole thing. A lot of times I say it like this, it's hard to add logic to a really illogical situation. Influencers a really weird place, dude. It's really weird.
I mean, everyone's learning still. And things are always changing.
Sure.
Algorithms are always changing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll shout out another fake situation right now.
Well, we've done that here.
No, hit it. No, that's
guiltily.
fine. Yo, listen. There's nothing wrong with it. But like engagement groups, there's a lot of people out there doing engagement groups. And so you have somebody that has 2 million purchased followers that are some of them are bots, like who knows what they are.
We
but
never
then
purchase followers.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
And even if you did whatever, but they follow it up with another layer of engagement group, and so now you've got something that looks very
like
real.
Steroids on Instagram.
It
right?
looks very real because they've got 2 million followers, they've got 2,400 comments and all these likes because their engagement group that they have in their DM or whatever is doing the work for them. And so now you really got to dig in. Now I'm reading the content of the comments, but every comment.
But what puts up the first red flag when you're looking into those situations?
I'll tell you right now. I'll give you a secret. You got a lot of this engagement group stuff happening in the style space. So you've got these girls that are swimsuit girls, right? And every comment is great photo, babe, looking hot, abs on fleek, like 3 words because in this engagement group, these people have to engage all of the other people in the engagement group every time they post. So they don't have time to write. Like when I engage you on your shit, it's going to be like, yo, this was a really well done post. Much better than the one that you did with this person, whatever. Like I'm your boy. I'm going to make it unique and cool.
Yeah.
The engagement group people are just like, yo, awesome pick.
Damn.
Exclamation point.
You really know what's up.
Bro, I've been in this
We've
game,
seen
dude.
That, right, Kim?
Bro, you're not going to finagle me, bro. Like I've been in this game since the beginning.
What do you think about the relationship between engagement groups and doing a paid post?
Paid posts are fine.
Yeah, but you're using the engagement group to inject some more engagement to make it look good to the brand.
Yeah, it's fake though. Like they might not even, the engagement group, people might not even look at it. A paid post is different because the platforms have shut down your reach. And so if I post on our channel, we have just about 700,000 on Facebook now. And
on Lovesack,
for Lovesack, right? And like if I post, it could be a few thousand people that see that post.
I've heard it's like
it's
an epidemic on
it's
Facebook.
Horrible,
yeah.
right? Like brands have to spend money.
Oh,
brands
sorry, by paid post I meant a paid like deal from a brand to you, for example. If you're going to promote something. That is a good piece though, because even at Kiss, they have or the other stations too. They have like these big followings. Man, conversions and engagement are horrible, but Facebook has really throttled what all these people see.
It's wild to imagine that you own this audience that you've paid to get them in to your page,
and now Facebook's
they're still not seeing your content because Facebook wants to get paid on both ends. You paid Facebook to get them to like your page,
and then they want you to pay for
again
every post
to reach
now.
them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Zuckerberg? You son of a bitch, dude. You're a smart.
He knows what he's doing,
You're a
man.
smart motherfucker, dude. Straight up.
When it comes to like if a brand reaches out to you,
yeah, it happens.
and then, or let's say your love. Okay, I'll just give you a scenario.
Yeah.
Your Lovesack.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I want to give this influencer a couple thou to post. Somehow you find, or I don't know. Potentially, they could be using it like a engagement pod.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm not working with them.
Have you had any experiences where you've had to shut down a relationship with someone because you
No,
realized
I mean, listen, like I don't do a lot of macro campaigns. We do a lot of product seeding. And so like we don't pay influencers really. Our product is so sought after and like desirable that it's about me trying to negotiate the like agents that I have to deal with sometimes, like to get them to like back down because they're like, yo, my influencer really wants this stuff. And like, but we don't do product trade out like advertising. We only do it for paid. And I'm
by trade out though, you're not just saying for your product. I mean, I think what I read online is, did you guys ever offer deals with certain influencers where you would throw them a commission?
Oh, we'll do rev
right?
share. We haven't historically done a lot of it just because it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
To
see what sales are really getting.
Yeah, 95. And by the way, we sell $1,200 to $1,500 beanbag chairs. It's not like T-shirts where people are like, see it, want it, buy it. It's a consideration item. They got to learn a little bit about the product. Maybe go sit in it in the store. There's 70 stores. Go to one.
Plug. Lovesack's plug. Go check it out. Any advice that you have for someone who is looking to build their personal brand, whether it be with creating content or maybe like an entrepreneurial endeavor they're looking into? Any advice that comes to mind for you?
For people that know what they want to do, like, or have an idea, it would be own it from the start. Like you like, for example, like when you jumped in, like you might have said to people like, yo, I think I'm going to start a podcast. I would challenge people to say, I'm a podcaster. Like I have a podcast. That's going to be fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like when I started doing, and so for people who don't know what they want to do, because there's a lot of those people out there too, try everything. Try everything. Like, dude, try everything. Like when I was like really getting really good at writing AOL, doing all this stuff like on the writing side, I said, you know what? I want to start doing content stuff too. I want to like try photos. I didn't tell anybody that. You want to know what I told people? I'm a photographer. Like I'm a photographer. Hire me, bro, for your shoots.
And that's how you learn the most,
dude. And I jumped in, bro. I bought a Canon 70D. I started shooting.
That's what we're shooting on over here. One of them.
Shout out Canon 70D, great camera. And so they're like, and so then I started shooting pictures, and they were like, "Do you do video?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do video." I'm
meanwhile in your head, like, "Oh
fuck, bro." I'm a skilled videographer, bro. And so they're like, and then
we've been through this,
crazy, bro. And then they were like, "Yo,
especially making money on the side, like, fuck."
Yeah. And so then they were like, and then drones came out. And I was like, yeah, I do a lot of aerial video. I didn't even own a drone yet, but I was telling people at weddings, I'm like, yo, I bought a drone. I bought a DJI Phantom 1, bro. And I was flying over people's weddings as they walk down the aisle.
You're probably learning how to work the drone while you're going over
like all the time.
Oh, man.
And so like that's like my advice. Like literally when I say fake it till you make it, I mean do it, bro. Like just be it. You're not trying stuff. You are it. You're it.
I couldn't agree more, man, because I've found myself, like you said, saying, I'm going to do this. And when you're in that mentality, man, it gives you an excuse to put it off more, especially on your timeline.
For sure.
I mean, that's my main point there. But all I could say is, like, don't get paralyzed by saying what you're going to do. Just get out there and put some action to it, right?
That's it. Get started. And then like another thing is a funny thing that popped in my mind. We talk about influencers. For these people that don't know what they want to do, there's a whole group of like kids, and like I don't know if like any kids will see this or whatever, but like kids like in their teens too that like remember when we were growing up and people would be like, yo, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
I swear to God, bro, kids come up to me and they're like, yo, I'm gonna be an influencer when I grow up. And and like I get it. Like I get why they say that. Like I get it. Like it's attractive. Like, yo, like these people hang out with all the celebrities, like they're partying, they're just like living life, they have millions of dollars. You don't want to be an influencer. You want to be an artist. You want to be a creator. You want to be a painter. Influence is a side effect, is a bonus, is an ancillary benefit. You want to be...
It's kind of like saying celebrity, right?
It is. Like,
you become a celebrity through an action, right?
That's right. What do you want to influence people to do exactly?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to inspire people to do? So, like, find your passion, and then maybe you become an influencer as well. But like for the most part, like what do you want to be? Yeah. Not I want to be an influencer. That's just a bonus, dude. That's it. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's just honestly, an influencer is just a label. You know what I mean? There's not substance to that.
None, dude.
Yeah. So we just covered some advice that you got for anyone looking to build a brand or pursue something. We've been hearing a lot of the positive things that have come from your career or the wins. But I'm wondering, what kind of adversity have you been faced with? You talked about some depths when you were growing up that you've had to overcome. And I'm sure you've had multiple other forms of adversity throughout your career that you've had to figure out how to get around and end up winning in the end. Yeah. So any examples that come to mind, just so people can kind of relate to know that, you know, you're not just invincible, that you struggle too?
Totally. I mean, I struggle constantly. I mean, still to this day, like whether, you know, like everybody struggles.
What about self-doubt, for example?
Totally, dude. Totally. Yeah. I mean, and having like the right like frame of mind is so important as a businessman or as like a content creator or whatever it is, like just thinking properly and thinking positively. And to be honest, like I have a lot of faults in that department. I'm not near perfect. Like I could do a lot of work there. But I have seen a good amount of struggles, and I have, like I said before, like I've lost some really good friends, and just like everybody has, and I've dealt with some traumatic injuries in my life that I still carry with me a lot today. I broke my femur skiing. I've had quite a few concussions. I fractured my skull, broke my ankle, shattered it really bad, and so I've got a lot of hardware in my ankle and had splenectomies. Like I've had quite a few like life-saving surgeries, right? And those are traumatic as well.
What's a splenectomy about?
Splenectomy, yeah, they take your spleen out, and so no spleen, yeah.
Man, I've heard that can get really serious.
It's nasty. It's nasty shit. And so like I've you know, like this is just, normally I wouldn't even talk about this stuff, but I think like especially with the ankle, because it brings back to like how to get past that, like how to get past adversity, right? Like I'll bring back to that physical sense, like for myself, what I do. Times get really, really, really dark in life, in business and in life in general. Like it just it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like nobody has a perfect life. The one thing I literally in my darkest times have said is one sentence over and over, which is, and I don't know if it sounds corny or whatever, but like just keep going forward. Like fight for that ground, bro. Like and so like I bring it back to my ankle and I still have a ton of really bad pain in that ankle. It's arthritic. It's got 2 plates, 20 screws in my right ankle. It's horrible still. And I'll have to get a fusion on it. I'll have to take the ankle joint out at some point. There are days when it inflames and it hurts so bad to even walk on it. There are times where I'm like, yo, I gotta sit down, dude. Like I can't even go anymore. I'm gonna call an Uber or whatever. And I say to myself, just keep going, dude. Just keep walking forward. And I apply that same thing to adversity. Keep pushing. Never think that this isn't gonna end. Never think that this isn't gonna get better. Pull your head down and push through whatever is in your way and just keep going forward. If you can't walk, crawl. Like straight up, dude. There are times still, like even to this day, where I'm just like, another big one for me is perspective. Okay. And so like I say perspective, like there are times still to this day where I get so like much of that like self-doubt or like uncertainty or like worry or even sometimes just like being down about something where I'm like, damn, like why couldn't this have gone another way? Like why couldn't I have done better? And I think back to a really important brand partnership that I did last year with a guy by the name of Travis Mills.
Oh, I know Travis Mills. T-Mills.
Different Travis Mills.
Oh, never mind.
Funny that you said that because I know who that one is too. It's so funny that there's two. Not T-Mills. I know what you're talking about. So Travis Mills is one of the only surviving quadruple amputees, bro, from Afghanistan. And so Lovesac, we did a
limbs essentially,
no limbs,
right?
Bro. So we did a partnership with him at his retreat in Maine that he opened to bring in other amputees from the Iraq and Afghanistan war so that they can re-engage society a little bit before they go back out into the world, right? And I still remember to this day meeting him for the first time. And by the way, like the most positive person probably that I've ever met. No arms.
Really?
No legs, bro. Comes up to me joking around, messing around. And like he's super positive and super happy, but my heart like was heavy, dude. Like seeing that casualty of war and of like life, right?
I know that's a perfect example because he's not just getting around that. He's having to wake up each day and be reminded of what's happened
every day,
too.
Bro. And he's kind
of like your ankle. It's a physical thing that you're constantly reminded of, right?
But imagine me wake up in the morning, getting out of bed with, it's severe pain, don't get me wrong, but I'm never like, yo, this pain is too bad for me to bear because someone nearby or near enough by has no arms or legs, bro. And so like, I think like it's a mixture of dedication and perseverance, but also perspective and knowing that, dude, somebody out there is struggling way worse than you. By the way, find that person and talk to them. Find the person and talk to them and hear their story because hearing how bad it can be makes you understand how good you have. It really can. Would
you say with Travis, for example, did he have kind of the same process to look at the positive side of things?
He had to, bro. He didn't at first. He told his wife to leave. His wife and his new baby, bro, came to see him. He had lost 100 pounds. He had nothing. He didn't have prosthetics yet. He had no legs and no arms, bro. He's at Walter Reed. Yeah. And his wife visited him, and the first thing he said to her is, yo, take the kid and leave me. Like, go have a life. Like, you'll be fine for the rest of your life. Like, I want you to be happy. Leave me. And she didn't. And she stayed with him, and he got through it, and now he's this extremely positive person that has this retreat in Maine, and people come to the Travis Mills Foundation, and they rebuild their lives without a limb or without an arm or, whatever.
Wow.
Wild.
So does he have any kind of thing he touches on to look at the positive side of things?
Of course. I mean, yeah, totally. I mean, it's funny. He doesn't have to touch on anything. He just has to show up. Wow. He just has to show up. You know what I'm saying? And tell his story. And then people are like, wow, like my missed car payment isn't that big of a deal. Or like, oh, let's bring it back to this. Like my business failed. Like my campaign that failed. Like there's so much more to this story of life.
Yeah.
Than your last failure. You know, so you just keep pushing. That's it. You know?
Jeez. It's like really heavy.
Heavy shit, dude. I know.
I don't even want to change the topic after that. That's really heavy.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Travis, man, because that's really inspiring. I'm definitely gonna have to check him out because that's an amazing story. You just mentioned a campaign failure. What about overcoming that? Because I'm sure you don't have all home runs when it comes to marketing. That's for
we
sure.
have one, dude, that sticks out to me. We did this campaign called Boston Moving Day. So in Boston, 80 or 90% of the rentals in Boston turn over on one day. What? September 1st. Big college town, like obviously all the colleges. So September 1st, they have like a September 1st lease, and people move. Every year, like you go there, the streets are loaded, bro, with couches and stuff. And so like people can't get their couches out of their house. Mm-hmm. They call a doctor to come in and like a couch doctor to saw it in half to take their couch out. So we saw really.
How the hell did they even get it in the first place?
I don't know. They got it in, but they can't get it out. And so we saw this, and so this PR agency that we were working with at the time saw this really innate, very smart campaign with our modular couch system that could fit through any doorway.
Yeah.
And so this was the biggest campaign we'd ever done. We dropped like $150K on it, and at the time, like that was huge for us. So it was like our big bet for the year, and it was stagnant. It was just not it wasn't a big payoff. And
well, don't just scrape on it. I mean, what exactly happened?
It was cool, but like you take the learnings from it.
See, everyone just wants to kind of brush over their losses. You gotta say what's up. What happened?
Losses, bro. I mean, like it sucked. I mean, it didn't suck. It didn't suck.
It's okay if it sucks.
The agency did a great job. The brand did a great job. It just didn't resonate. It just doesn't always work.
You did work with the agency on that.
Yeah, on that one. Okay. And it just didn't work out. And you take the learnings from it. You say, all right, let's not spend as much next time. Let's see what's opportunistically available. As opposed, like, can we find stuff that doesn't cost us $140K? We're not wrapping 6 buses and taking over the city and permits and all this stuff. What can we do on the opportunistic end? And then when you spend, instead of $140,000, you spend $800 on something and it does 250 million views on Facebook.
Are you shouting out the insider video? I was going to ask how much that costs. 850, you said? Something like that?
A little bit of product. Crazy, bro.
That's amazing. I mean, it just shows money isn't everything, especially when it comes to content. But anyways, main point, Mike over here, he's not invincible, so he's dealt with it too. And one thing I wanted to say about getting through adversity, like you were saying, there's dark days, but then you have your bright days. And I feel like you have to have those dark days to appreciate the bright ones.
Ain't no sunshine without no rain.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, if everything was just great, we'd be living a neutral life, really, you know? So you gotta have the peaks and the troughs.
It's almost like people with the weather in LA. They're like, yo,
I enjoy the weather in LA.
I'm like, yo, it's 78 degrees and sunny every day. Is that what you're telling me? And they're like, no, literally every day. And so then I still love it, but I can almost imagine where you're like, I don't know how many times like I've come out of a place in LA and people have been like, wow, it's really a beautiful day out today. I mean, it happens occasionally, but on the East Coast,
I see what you're saying.
It rains, it snows, all this stuff happens. So when we get a nice day, people are like, let's go outside and have a good time. Like here, they're just like, oh, it's 78 and sunny.
I got a point though. I mean, if you're a transplant from like a different state, I think you can still appreciate it.
Absolutely. But once you're here for like 20 years, you're like,
if you were born here, if you're born here and you've never traveled, I could see how you just take it for granted.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like when some kids, they're born by like Laguna, for example.
Yeah.
And they've never seen anything else. I mean, you don't know what you got until you go experience something else, right? Any awkward stories?
One thing that sticks out to me, so I was green, dude. I was a newbie. I was like a nobody in the space. And it was like 2014, maybe. 2015. And I went to this thing called Playlist Live, bro. It was in Orlando. It's like a big like influencer and YouTube festival, like where all the big YouTubers go. And all the fans scream, like the Beatles are there.
Like pre-VidCon kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, VidCon, it's like the same thing, but in Orlando.
Yeah.
And so it's Playlist, right? And so I went there and like just was like wanted to experience it. And I went with my CEO and like he like co-signed me to like go in and like hang out, whatever. And I was a newbie, dude. Like I didn't understand crap. Like I didn't dress the right way. I was just like Connecticut thrown into the mix. Mm-hmm. And so I go there. And they're like, yo, my CEO's like, yo, I pulled some strings. I got us into the Maker Party tonight. And it was like this real private event for Maker Studios. And
which is like what is it, a syndicate or like management company that works with all the biggest names, right?
At the time, it was the end-all, be-all of studios for influencer, right? And so I go to this party and I walk in and I'm seeing celebrities and like influencers. And this was like the first time. Like I was like fresh as hell, bro. And I see Jenna Marbles.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, Jenna Marbles was the queen, bro. Like, Jenna Marbles was YouTube, like, royalty.
She still is. I feel like she's calmed down a little bit, though.
She is. But, like, at the time, like, I mean, she was, like, the Shane Dawson of YouTube at the time.
Yeah.
And so I roll in, and the way I am is to me, a person is a person. Like, I roll up to everybody the same way. Like, if you like valet my car, I roll up to you the same way as if you're my favorite celebrity, with a few exceptions. Like Jay-Z, I probably would fall over, right? Or like Kanye, right? Whatever. But I see Jenna Marbles, and I roll up to her, and I see this like kind of buff dude standing next to her, and I'm like, oh, I think it's probably like her agent or man, whatever, because it's all like agents and managers. And I roll up to her, and I'm like, Jenna, what's up? Like, good to meet you, and like hug her, shake her hand, and like really like just casual chill, and like we start talking, and like it's just chill. And I'm like, yo, do you want to get a shot right now? And
okay,
I
Mike.
go, yo, do you want to get a shot? And the guy next to her is like, but I was really cool about it. And the guy next to her was like, yo, sorry, man, not a good time. Like, Jenna has to get up early tomorrow morning. So I'm like, oh, this is definitely her manager now, right? And so I'm like, because he's like setting her schedule for her. He's like, it's sorry, not tonight, not a good time. So it's like, all right, whatever. And then she's like, no, I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot with you. I'll take a shot with you.
Okay, Mike.
So we go over, we do a shot of Fireball, and like I was so like, it was such a rookie mistake, but I'm like, can I get a picture? Like, not cool at the parties, whatever. But she was
depends
cool.
on what your intentions are.
Right, but she was cool. Like, she was just like chilling. So we took a shot. I give her like a hug and like a kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
And like, so it was like.
Did we misstep there?
At the time, bro, it was like I said, it was almost like you gave a hug and a kiss on the cheek to like the Queen of England. Like, you should be on your knee. Like, everybody at that place was like, yo, this kid should be on his knees, like kissing her hand, like kiss the ring, bro. Like, God.
Okay.
And I'm just like, yo, like she's just a girl, like a normal chick.
Yeah.
And so she walks away or whatever, and my CEO comes running up to me. Yo, you did something really wrong, dude. Like, that dude is Jenna's like boyfriend or like fiance. He's not happy because like he told you like no shots, and I was like, so like I was in. Well, like,
why did she say yes?
Because
then?
she wanted to do one, dude. Like, they don't make the rules.
She wanted
so
to see what's up with the mic factor.
But maybe, or just like be cool, like have a shot, whatever. And so like it turned into like this huge thing where I had to apologize to like the studio, and like, so
what?
For me, and I did nothing, I did nothing wrong. Like, literally, she was cool as hell.
You're
like,
just trying to save face on it though,
bro. And so I did. I was like, yo, I really apologize. Like, they were like, you should know better. Like, it's Jenna Marbles. And so I was like, whatever. But it was just so like weird and like awkward and just strange. And it was almost like a telltale sign of like what I could expect in the future. And now that hasn't happened at all.
What's the rule book when it comes to meeting someone that's big now? No pictures, blah, blah, blah.
No, nothing, because usually I'm coming in under the reco of someone else now.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different ball game when you cold meet somebody versus when you get like, oh, this is Mike. He is best friends with this person and does work with this company. And they're like, yo, what's up? Oh, I've seen some of your stuff. Oh, I watch all his stuff. Like, and they already kind of know who you are.
Like mutual friend kind of thing?
Yeah, and then you just roll into it. Like, you know, I might pull out my IG and just start doing a story right there, like right when I meet them.
Oh, okay.
Like, it just doesn't matter.
You just roll up with someone cold, you start feeling that's a little weird, right?
Like they say, I guess like I have like enough tokens now, enough cloud tokens to like do that kind of shit.
Cloud tokens, I like that. Anything else crazy where it's just like crazy embarrassing or anything like that you can hit on? Maybe one more?
There's been tons, dude. I mean, there's been tons, but I mean, there's been a lot of really big...
Can I touch on that previous story really quick?
Yeah.
The one thing that I hate about experiences like that is I always wish that they could just say they were bothered from the get, instead of you having to hear it from everyone else and then have to go fix it.
I know. I would have liked that as well, for sure.
Maybe Jen was like, dude, chill. And you're like, oh, no, I'm sorry. Or maybe her fiance be like, oh, yeah, I'm her
boyfriend
fiance.
or whatever. I don't even know what it was
Why
at the time.
Do people have to wait for someone else to speak for them? I don't know.
But it was whatever. It was all taken out of context. And it was just miscommunications. Whatever. It is what it is. But another really quick story I'll tell is about for Sundance 2017, about 2 years ago. I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can, but it's a funny story. So we rent this massive house on private Deer Valley ski on, ski off, Sundance. Like, we're going to show up with Lovesack. We're going to do this right. So we dump Lovesacks in the house, like massive mansion, bro. Like glass elevator on the outside of the house. Supposedly authentic Banksy's on the walls. Like the real deal, bro, right? So we bring all these sacks in. We get Logan to come, and we didn't even pay them because we were like, yo, we have the dopest house. Like, we paid for their travel.
Yeah.
Dopest house. I bring Logan, George Janko, Chantel Jeffries, Alyssa Violet.
And you were just paying for the travel?
We just paid for the travel. They were like, we'll just come hang out. We didn't even make like them guarantee any stuff, but they all did stuff because I was already cool with all of them. So they were like, Lovesack brought us out here in the vlogs, whatever.
Nice.
So we go there, we party with Marshmello, we do all this stuff. Me and Logan like form a much like tighter relationship than we already have. And at one point, we're shooting this vlog for Logan, and I'm just like messing around, and he goes to propose like in the vlog, like joking around to Chantel Jeffries, right? Like just messing around, like, will you marry me? And he grabs one of these paintings off the wall. Okay.
One of these OG Banksy.
Bro, it wasn't a Banksy, but it was like priceless. Okay. And so he grabs it off the wall and brings it in. And at one point he like drops it on the carpet. Okay. Straight up, bro, nothing happened to it, dude. He didn't do anything. There was nothing that happened to it. Okay. I get back to Connecticut. I'm at work and I get a call from the head of legal. We just lost our $50,000 deposit on the Sundance house because you guys damaged a priceless painting. I'm fired, bro. Like, I know I'm fired, bro. Okay?
My God, so my gut would just sink.
Bro, it sunk, dude. This was one of the
I've
scariest.
had those moments too where I'm like, dude, I'm walking out, I'm fired after
done,
this.
Dude, done. And so I go back, I rewatch the vlog, and I'm like, dude, we pulled this thing off the wall, bro, and he dropped it. Like, wow. And then I pull back to the frame prior to us taking it off the wall because they're like, there's damage to the corner, there's damage to the frame. And I pull the screenshot because he was running a good camera already because, he's filming with a good camera. The damage was there before we ever touched the painting.
DIS stuff right
Straight
here.
up,
Let's go.
Right? And so I'm like, wow, dude. Like,
DIS Connecticut.
Yeah. And so I'm like, wow, dude, like, we're good.
Yeah.
And so they like backed down and like we were able to iron it out. We got our security deposit back.
Chip you out of 50K,
yeah, 50,
man.
Dude, 50 large, 50 rackies, bro.
Oh my
And I was scared. And so like there's been a million stories like that. Like if you asked me on a different day, I might have had two different stories.
Yeah.
You know, it's
we all got them.
It's an interesting world, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
What can we look forward for the future of Mike right here, man?
More partnerships, dude. Like more partnerships for Lovesack, more content, like hopefully like more of this kind of stuff, like open format. I love open format, dude. Like I love just like talking and like I might even want to reverse it on you. You know what I'm saying? And like, cool. Chats with Mike M. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like straight up, dude.
Okay.
Like I don't
might
know.
have to license that to you, but okay.
Maybe, dude. I'll pay whatever. That's a dope name. But yeah, just like content, fun content, having fun. And just definitely more brand partnerships on Lovesack. And like, I love that brand and I would encourage anybody to check them out. And just like a lot more of the same. Like I'm actually, I guess saying that is kind of
you're in a good
cool
place. You just want to keep cruising.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And just positivity and good vibes.
Cheers, bro. All right, man. Well,
dude.
Like,
yeah,
coming
bro.
through, man.
Yeah,
it was
bro.
awesome meeting you. And